The replacement of the official residence in New York was carefully planned and executed. It represents up to $7.4 million in net present value saving for Canadians. An aging asset is being replaced with a well-located, smaller and more cost-effective property, positioning Canada to meet both current and future needs. The previous residence at 12E 550 Park Avenue was acquired in 1961 and was extensively used. The building is now over 100 years old. Concerns about the condition of the current residence were first raised actually in 2014. In 2017, a building condition report indicated that many systems were nearing the end of their life expectancy, estimating a midlife refit in the early 2020s at today's cost of up to $2.6 million. À la suite d'une analyse détaillée des options et d'un
Following a detailed analysis of options and a governance review, Global Affairs Canada, with the help of a local real estate specialist, evaluated 21 properties in 7 neighborhoods in New York, which is one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world. After careful consideration, Global Affairs Canada opted for the property located at 111 West 57th Street.
Recently renovated property is situated in the heritage portion of a building in Midtown, contrary to previous reports suggesting that it was in a skyscraper. It is conveniently located near our office and other international organizations. The apartment is smaller than the previous property, more efficient and cost-effective, and it was purchased at a price recently reduced. Finally, the current official residence is now listed on the market. It was listed at $3.9 million higher than what was paid for the new residence. So we're very proud of this replacement transaction that not only promises substantial one-time saving for Canadian, but also avoid the $2.6 million in renovation costs and deliver $115,000 in ongoing annual saving on operational fees, cutting expenses in half.
But maybe I could go to the statement earlier about the life cycle of the building itself, looking at 55 to 60 years. To put that into context, I've visited many council offices in my role as Member of Parliament. One of them was the Council Office of India, and it was next door to the Leader of the Opposition's house, who was Andrew Scheer at the time. And the Consul General was Vikas Swarup, who was working with me and with the University of Guelph to facilitate the setting up of a Center for Indian Studies at the University of Guelph. And the University of Guelph has subsequently started that center and also has appointed an interim chair for Indian Studies that's visiting from India. So the important work that goes in a council office is not strictly entertainment. There is some socializing, and it's a different venue where we talked about jazz that night as well, but we were really focused on creating a Center for Indian Studies at the University of Guelph. Since then, we've had a change in the Leader of the Opposition, and we've had a change in the Consul General from India. What's a normal time for a Consul General to occupy one of the residences that their government provides?
Mr. Chair, I'll welcome the question. I will actually turn to my colleague, DG of North America, Mark Allen, that can talk about these operations.
We've recently established set timeframes for diplomatic postings, and in the United States, it is 4 years.
Terrific. So, I mean, part of the arguments that the Conservatives is making is that this is a house that the Prime Minister is giving one of his buddies, one that was also a moderator at the Conservative Leadership Convention, which kind of disconnects. Is any staff involved, including the acting government lead at the consular office, is any staff involved in the selection of properties?
Mr. Chair, once again, I welcome the question. The process, the decision-making is all managed at HQ, and there's no influence by any other staff than the people responsible for the stewardship of the real property.
Great, thank you. And also, I know we will be getting some of this in writing as was requested, but the cost savings that have been determined by the independent body, not a political organization that's giving us money as a Liberal government, the cost savings of a smaller location versus the location that we were occupying since the 60s. Could you maybe comment on, just in general, how there was a cost savings? I know we will be getting details.
Well, thank you very much for the question. I will turn to my colleague Robin, because indeed we have downsized, and there are going to be a definite saving that's going to be tied to this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The question is about the cost savings, and of course, when you look at the cost of renovating and aging property, this is a cost that you're going to be not really recuperating, because you're only bringing an asset back to where it should have been, investing or putting down $2.6 million in this case. So that saving alone is quite significant. But if you look at the difference in prices as well, we're anticipating quite a substantial profit out of the transaction. So those are the two elements for savings, in addition to the ongoing savings that you mentioned.
Maybe, Mr. Allen, could you talk about how elected officials in the United States might benefit from this New York location? And given the NAFTA negotiations that we've just gone through and will be going through again soon, changes in government, changes in political climate, trying to add to business stability by face-to-face communications, could you maybe comment on the significant strategic importance of having on-the-ground counselor services for elected officials to use?
Absolutely. So our network of missions abroad really represent the totality of Canadian interests in each of the cities and regions where they're located. So we've talked about the trade and investment side of that, the public affairs side of that, the consular services side of that. But I think also importantly, they build our brand around the world, and show. And you've used examples like clean tech, which also apply to Canada. I mentioned critical minerals, and so I think we're lucky as a country to have a very positive brand abroad, but it takes work, as I say, to continue to promote that. So in representing the totality of our interests, they also provide an important sort of place, a meeting place for international interlocutors from the commercial world, as we say, from institutions. And really, I think there, despite the networked world that we are increasingly living in, there's absolutely no substitute for that face-to-face communication, which is really the business of diplomacy. Thank you.